Welcome, Namaskaram, Swagatam, Vanakkam. The very limited purpose of this video is to celebrate the richness of the many responses that I received from so many of you, and to say how appreciative and grateful I am that we have among us an incomparable fund of intellectual, cultural, spiritual resources, which constitutes the uniqueness of a temple of thought. There are so many YouTube channels. Perhaps you'd be surprised to know that there are more than 100 million YouTube channels. And a temple of thought is one of the smallest. The channel with the maximum subscription is named Mr. Beast, and it has over 300 million subscribers. So if you compare the size of our fellowship in this YouTube channel, if you like, but I find it hard to think of this as a channel, you will find that numerically we are absolutely insignificant. But there is cause to rejoice and reason to celebrate. If you look at the richness of the responses that each video elicits from all of you. So it's a very encouraging revelation of the richness of the viewers. And that fills me with happiness because it increases, ennobles my love for the country, because I sincerely believe that the value of a country resides in the quality of her people, and that is also the quality of the people that determines the future of a nation. India will be great, India will be respected among the nations of the world, not because we become an economic superpower, and we are very far away from that, irrespective of what we are being told day in and day out. We won't be respected as much for landing human beings on the moon. I consider it a far more significant achievement to walk erect on two legs, as Tagore says, holding your head high, with minds free from fear and favor. India will be great according to the greatness of her people. And going by the quality of the responses I'm getting daily, I have good reasons to believe that our future is bright and safe. Though, if you go by the general reportage in the media and the kind of stuff that's being showcased on mainstream channels and thousands of other YouTube channels, you could even become depressed, because what is really exhibited in public is tastes and temperaments of the lowest kind. But to think that such nobility and refinement of sentiment exists in our country, in our society, as is so evidently and abundantly found in a temple of thoughts, is indeed very encouraging. So I thought I would just read out, and that's the only thing I would do, without perhaps stopping ever and anon to offer comments. I just read out some of the responses. First of all, I'll read a response from Nitya Dakshinamurthy, and I have already mentioned her in one of the previous videos. And she responds in detail with such clarity and comprehensiveness of perception and understanding that I cannot desist from reading and sharing this with you. And this is a response to the video in which I analyze Rahul Gandhi's speech yesterday in the parliament. Both of Rahul Gandhi's speeches as LOP, his response to the president's inaugural address and to the budget, are indeed a master class in communication. His speeches of late have been an engaging mix of, then she goes into bullet points, storytelling, example, the Abhay Mudra, Chakravyuha stories, and so on. Then facts, within brackets, the reality regarding chronic capitalism, plight of farmers, students, daily wage workers, Agnivirs, etc. Third point, emotions. These are all comments about Rahul Gandhi's speeches. Emotions, within brackets, narrations of his conversation with cobblers, mine workers, mechanics, students, victims of violence, and so on. Fourth point, wit, within brackets, poker-faced, striking humor. Fifth point, personal charm, within brackets, a disarming, genuine smile. Next, courage, within brackets, not cowing down to booing and intimidation. Next, dignity, within brackets, never resorting to lowly offensive language or humor of the low variety. He has indeed come a long way and has a long way to go too, and this is what I particularly like in this response. Nitya says he has come a long way, but he has a long way to go too, for which he is equipping himself diligently. It's a very mature, balanced statement. And the thorough academic that you are, this is about me, you have dissected these speeches for us so well and given us a structure and framework to analyze such speeches and get their essence. These dissections and analyses will also help us. She says videos of this kind will help her in the following manner: in articulating ourselves better, be it publicly or in one-to-one interactions, in giving a structure and organization to our ideas without compromising on spontaneity. Thank you for this. I have a humble request. I have been watching many other speeches of the India Alliance members and found them all equally riveting and impactful. Each of the speakers has brought his her own unique value and robust flavor to the parliamentary session this time. Be it Mahua Moitra's firebrand delivery or Supriya Surle's very calm but hard-hitting factual speech, Mr. Abdullah's bright humor, John Britas's witty scholarly sting, Abhishek Banerjee's fearless sharpness, Shashikant Central's academic thoroughness, Akhilesh Yadav's native humor and composure, and many more compelling speeches, both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. They've all brought the parliament back to life from a decade-long stupor that it was forced into by the powers that be. It would be great to hear from you an analysis of some of these speeches. In my very humble opinion, it would need a robust, empowered opposition to steer the country back on course. Although Rahul Gandhi is showing a lot of commitment, intent, and promise, he will need the strength of all his colleagues in the opposition to undertake this mammoth task. Also, the rise of a single-man cult, as we have witnessed in recent times, has made me quite apprehensive about pinning all our hopes on one person. This point is also very well taken. Whether it is Mr. Modi, whether it is Rahul Gandhi, whether it is somebody else, the single-man cult, what's called hero worship, is a danger to democracy. Also, it is a burden too heavy for him to bear by himself. Now, I quite agree with Nitya that the speeches made by several other members of parliament also deserve our attention. And I will only make one more addition to this list, and that is Chandrasekhar Azad, who fought as an independent from Uttar Pradesh and won. He is the founder of, what is that? I forget. I'm sorry. It will come. It will come. And he has done commendable work among the Dalits in UP, and he is an ardent follower of B.R. Ambedkar. Unfortunately, he and Mayavadi do not get along well, which is a great pity. So, as of now, this personal rivalry serves to keep the Dalit votes divided. But there is a trend quite visible in the last 2024 election, that the Dalits are now slowly migrating towards the Congress and Samajwadi Party combined. So now I'll try and follow this instruction, but let me tell you why I focused on Rahul Gandhi. I did so only out of my sense of justice. I have nothing personal in promoting Rahul Gandhi, but my heart goes out to him and to anyone who is victimized, especially by mighty forces such as the BJP is. He has been most unfairly dealt with. He hasn't deserved the orchestrated, prolonged campaign of vilification unleashed on him and sustained over a long period of time. He simply did not deserve it. He was condemned as useless even before he could begin, and therefore an avalanche of prejudice was unleashed upon him, which I think is downright unjust. And as citizens of India who believe in the fundamental values of the Constitution, as stated in the preamble to the Constitution of India, the first of the four being justice, is a citizenship duty to stay unwaveringly committed to justice. And commitment to justice means not only that we clamor for justice when injustice is done to us, but that we stand up for justice for our fellow human beings, no matter who they are. And so I felt very sincerely, and I felt saddened and pained by the realization, which has been gathering momentum over a period of time, that a fellow human being, which family he belongs is really accidental to me. A human being has been most unfairly targeted and most monstrously caricatured, defaced, degraded in public perception. Whereas he's actually showing some rare qualities. Now, if a person was being targeted because they deserved it, is another matter. But here is a person who seems to be far superior to most others I know in public life, and therefore I just could not stand on the sidelines, watch and keep quiet about this most unjust process in progress. Therefore, I thought I would add my little twopenny worth of weight to righting the wrong that's been so visibly practiced in public. That's the main reason why I claimed so much of your time. And in retrospect, it seems that it was providential because so many of you have understood the spirit in which I was doing this particular piece of work. And you've attached your heart and soul to it. And I am just reading out one or two responses, but I tell you, I've got hundreds and hundreds of beautiful, encouraging and enthusiastic responses from people all over the country. And as I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, on the basis of these responses, I'm quite convinced that Rahul Gandhi has already outstripped Sri Narendra Modi in popular affection and respect already. On this very channel, I have tried out this experiment. As you know, I've also posted and shared with you a certain number of videos on Narendra Modi, and far fewer people watch the videos on Narendra Modi, whereas a number of people who watch Sri Rahul Gandhi videos on Rahul Gandhi is actually increasing. Now, which shows that there is an awakening spreading like a wave from one end of the country to the other, that there is something of unique worth that's now becoming increasingly evident in the public life and contributions of Sri Rahul Gandhi. And given the irreducible substratum of goodness in the Indian mind, no matter how corrupt our society and certain segments of public life may seem to be, my confirmed conviction is that as far as the general spectrum of Indian public is concerned, as far as ordinary people are concerned, ordinary people like us, there is that beautiful, incorruptible substratum of human goodness, and that cannot but respond to whatever Sri Rahul Gandhi embodies. And therefore, from now onwards, if this campaign of vilification continues, it will become counterproductive and increasingly counterproductive. And therefore, BJP would be well advised to abandon its habitual practice, habitual agenda of unfairly, unjustly, and baselessly defaming and caricaturing a good soul like Sri Rahul Gandhi. So that is as far as this is concerned. Let me see if I would like to share with you the comment offered by several others. Let me read out another response I got to the same video. This response is by a person whose proper name is not visible on the screen. It says Ram Muhammad. Probably is a person who believes in multi-religious interactions, or who does not want to belong to one particular religious camp, and therefore has a sense of kinship with people of all religious groups, which is something that I salute. I really value this. And let me read out his words. He says, "Your analysis of Rahul Gandhi's public speaking was very elaborate and to the point. Thanks for it. I will try to incorporate these points in my effort to become a better public speaker." And in particular, he makes the following points. 1. I will contextualize whatever I am speaking on. Number 2. I will try to keep an element of surprise by organizing my points in an interesting manner and using something tangible to show to the audience, example, a demonstration, a picture, a model of something, some video, etc. Point number 3. I try to add wit to my speech, but as you said, wit is an intellectual trait, so don't know when I will be able to achieve that level of intellect, but at least I will try. Thank you once again for drawing your attention to all of this. Now, there are of course very many responses, but I cannot close this video without sharing with you a response from a member of our fellowship, YouTube fellowship, whom I have come to like immensely, for a variety of reasons. First of all, he's very regular, very earnest, very keen, and he's an excellent student. He has a fresh mind, eager mind. Secondly, he has a clarity in the soul, which I find extremely beautiful. Third, I've spoken with him on the phone. His voice gives me an idea of the quality of the person that he is. His name is Sunil Francis George. And this, I'm going to read out a response to a video under the title, Religion is a Killer. And it is a video to which a believer like Sunil is not an abject blind believer, an inspired, spiritually inspired believer would find hard to respond. I did not expect him to respond in this freedom of spirit, and I'm greatly encouraged that he has. So let me share his response to that video. And that was shared with you yesterday. So these are recent videos, so I'm not taking you far back in time. And he says, with respect to that particular video, that is religion is a killer, this is one of the best ones so far. You have succinctly captured a strong stance on religion's detrimental impact. The examples provided are sobering reminders of how religious fervor, when misguided, can lead to egregious acts of violence. The common thread running through all these examples is the idea of using religion to enforce conformity and to suppress dissent. From Jesus' threat to traditional Jewish beliefs to Socrates' unorthodox views in Athens, those who challenge established religious norms are often viewed as enemies to be eradicated. The point about religion harming its followers is particularly insightful, the crux of your video. And he has quoted what I have said, the text. Let me read out that portion also. He says, I repeat this what I said in the video. He has transcribed the audio. I repeat my words again. Religion kills, whereas God is the giver of life and spirituality a celebration of life. Life has no labels. Life is neither Hindu, nor Muslim, nor Christian, nor Parsi, nor Sikh. Life is not even atheistic. You can't stick the label of atheism on life. Life is light, and God is the fountain spring of that life, unquote. In the book of James, and he's making a reference to one of the epistles in the New Testament, epistle by James. In the book of James, the Bible describes a form of religion that's pleasing to God, especially the epistle of James, chapter 1, verse 27, which reads as follows. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this. What is that? To look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Whereas the priestly class will shift the emphasis from this ethical core of religion to the ritualistic and priestly practices of religion. This verse highlights that true religion, according to the Bible, involves caring for those in need and living a morally upright life. Absolutely true. So I'm just picking 2 or 3 typical responses. If I were to read all the responses I have received from Sunil, that would constitute about 10 to 15 videos. So obviously, I'm picking and choosing at random. I want to once again thank all of you for the consistent and very, very minute attention that you paid to the videos that I'm so privileged to make and share with all of you. And I don't have to say this. It is your enthusiasm that keeps me going. It's not easy for me to handle this work all alone without anyone to help me at all in anything. And I'm technologically challenged, seriously challenged. I don't know how to edit a video, or how to insert visuals, how to enhance presentation, etc. All I have is a lot of love and affection for you, which continuously wells up within me as a wellspring of ideas. And the moment something stirs up within me, I cannot but sit in front of my small little smartphone and begin to record. And that's why you see all my videos are spontaneous. I don't make notes, or I don't write out the text, which is simply impossible. So I can only thank you in the fullness of my heart for the encouragement that each one of you is to me. But I again want to request you to serve as force multipliers, to make these ideas and insights reach others. I'm not at all implying hereby that they should be persuaded or motivated to become signed up members of a temple of thoughts. I'm only saying that after having seen a video and being persuaded that one particular insight, maybe two insights or three insights or whatever, is valuable, and therefore it could be also useful to somebody else, that such person could benefit from becoming aware of an insight or understanding like this. For example, you may know one or two young people, say in high secondary schools or college going students, who may be interested in developing the art of public speaking, and sharing the insights in my analysis of Rahul Gandhi's speech, the 5 points that I made, with such people, young people, would be useful to them. And they will also feel grateful to you. So if you can actually become more active, if you can develop a sense of responsibility towards others, we can actually impact our society in substantially beneficial ways. There is so much goodness remaining frozen inside of us. It needs to flow out. You know, the strange thing about life at the present time is that whatever is wicked, whatever is vile, whatever is ugly, whatever is anti-life, finds ready and violent expression, massive expression everywhere through a variety of means, whereas that light within a human being, the light within every human being remains hidden. All that we need to do in order to create a healthy society and to save the health and vitality of our democratic culture is to activate that element of goodness that's now lying incapacitated or dormant inside of us. And the goodness, let the river of its goodness flow out and nourish life all around us. And you will see a wonderful change taking place. We should believe in our capacity to be change agents. More than that, we should believe that it's our sacred duty. And I consider this to be the very essence of spirituality. It's our sacred duty to make light prevail in a context of darkness. So, commenting on the significance of the birth of Jesus Christ, Saint Matthew, who is the author of the first of the four Gospels, says, and he's of course quoting from the book of Isaiah, he says, people who were sitting in darkness have seen a great light. That's the need of the hour. Let light prevail where darkness now reigns supreme. That also, as I said in a previous video, harmonizes well with the deep spiritual prayer that people on the Indian subcontinent have been repeating for millennia. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. From darkness, lead us to light. But to say that prayer sincerely is also to come under the sense of responsibility to be the bearers of light. If darkness is to depart and light to prevail in our context, in the society where we live, it can happen only when each one of us as members of that society become bearers of that light. We don't have to go here and there in search of that light. That light is already within us. It's only a question of activating that light and allowing it a free expression. And as I said, this light flow out like the river of goodness and nourish the world around us. Life is beautiful. Let's celebrate it. Thank you. All the very best. See you soon.